Oh, welcome to Science Sunday or Sunday Science. We don't even know what in the world it's called anymore, and it's never on a Sunday anywho. So, welcome everybody, and I'm glad to have you with us.
Hi all.
It's Sunday Science on a Tuesday.
Wait. At least it's not Thursday.
That is true.
Huh.
Maybe we should split the difference and call it Monday Science. No. Sunday sounds better. I like it.
Right, Sunday Science works.
The alliteration.
Indeed. Yeah. All right, so hey Andy, what have you got for us today?
Oh.
Funny.
Stephen Bauman's recommendation from Twitter. I was hoping he would. There he is.
There he is. Here's the guy.
I told you he'd come in like Kramer. Man, he just slides right in and busts the door open. I told you. Called it.
Well done. Well done.
So Stephen's recommendation for today's episode was Pareidolia, and for those of you who don't know, which I can't imagine there's too many in our little group of science lovers that watch this show, Pareidolia is when seeing familiar faces and likenesses when you are looking at things that have absolutely nothing to do with what they are.
Not so fast. I'm writing this down, Andy. Hold on.
Oh, you're taking notes?
Go ahead.
So it's something I'm sure that every single one of us has experienced, and I don't think anybody would be too weirded out by knowing that they'd have experienced it, because we all see faces and things. We all see creatures in leaves. We see things in the clouds. I, for one, happen to have a giant dog that is in the slate tile in my shower that's kind of crazy looking. It has to be wet, though. I've noticed if it's dry, you can't see it. So, anywho, Stephen, thank you for finally popping in here, and I think this is a great show idea. So if there's anything that you have about this, I would be very interested to hear.
Well, I kind of do, but I don't want to give anything away. Me and they are actually doing a whole thing on. There's this one guy, I forget his name, but he's big into woo-woo, and he thought a geologic formation in South Africa looked like a tree stump. Now, this thing is 11 kilometers in diameter. It just, that's how this whole thing came about originally, I guess, is what you would say. But I don't really want to spoil it because I promised him that I would do that with him. But you're right. We all do see things, patterns and things that aren't there. And Mel, I think that was the eighth doctor that said that, wasn't it? I love humans because they're always seeing patterns and things that aren't there.
Yes, I believe it was. I don't think it was Matt Smith. Or wait, no, it wasn't Matt. Was it Tenet?
No, before that, the eighth one, the movie one. What was his name? God, I don't even remember. Paul McGinnon. Was that it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Paul. But
This is also called clustering illusion. That's a cognitive bias, clustering illusion. When you see patterns in entirely random events.
Yes. And, you know, it's kind of an evolutionary thing, you know, because it helps us see things and recognize danger. But anyone who knows anything about evolution knows it's a crappy designer. So, you know, we translate that into, you know, I mean, because we are animals. We just because we have technology and tools doesn't mean we don't think like animals. And, you know, people see what they want to see, you know, whatever experiences they've had or whatever conspiracy theories they love to swallow. I mean, we see it all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I had another example, but I forgot about it. I kept talking to think about it.
As far as like evolution, when you talk about it being kind of like a crappy design to a degree, I kind of equate evolution to like adulting. Nobody's really in charge, and we're just all kind of winging it the best that we can.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, evolution's not a designer because it doesn't have goals and it has no plans and it's not an entity.
It's just but this is what we're doing today, and hopefully it works.
Exactly, and it uses what it has. You know, our eyes are still adapted. You know, like our fish ancestors. You know, our eyes didn't become reinvented once we, walked on land. You know,
no, they just kind of adapted to the new environment.
Yeah.
You know, evolution.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I still
stupid monkey brains. You know, like I don't understand. You know, pareidolia. I am guilty of it, but I don't think I'm as prone to it as other people.
It's not like it's a sin or something. It's something that just happens.
It is something that happens. But you know those old pictures in the 90s that you looked at it, you saw the sailboat. I can't see the sailboat.
Oh, you mean the ones you stick to your nose and you pull it out?
Yes.
Yeah, I was never able to see the hidden images in those.
I couldn't either.
See, I can see those pretty easily. You just kind of got to get a little cross-eyed. You know, it's weird. You got to kind of like shift your cross. It's hard to explain, but it got to where I could just look at the picture and see the stuff after a while. I didn't have to do the nose thing. I was just like, okay.
Because I never was able to see the sailboat and I would cry.
Yeah, every time I looked at one of those, I basically saw a piece of polished granite in front of my face.
Yeah, that's about it. Triangles or circles or whatever comprised of it, it was comprised of.
Yeah.
And like I know some people that see, real good maze designers, they will actually design mazes so to kind of trick your brain into seeing like a face in it or something. So you focus on that, and it's harder for you to solve the maze. But
see, this is what Samurais, that's why they have like the tassels hanging from their swords, so that you look and pay attention to the tassel and not actually the sword play, so they can kill you faster. I don't know if that's 100% true, but somebody told me that once, and it makes sense, and I felt it was relevant at the time, but I don't know if it's 100% true because I'm not a historian, but I heard it one time and I thought that sounded pretty cool.
It does sound cool.
Indeed.
I agree.
Now, I have seen Godzilla in the clouds before, so I've decided to start worshiping Godzilla.
Godzilla is quite helpful sometimes, especially when Mothra is around.
I know, right? That's what I say. And if you worship him, maybe he'll spare your house. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on how he's feeling. But see, that's just it, too. You got to have a bit, like, we all see things in the clouds. But me looking at the cloud and seeing something and you being 5-10 kilometers the other way, you're not going to see what I see because we live in a 3-dimensional world. You're not even going to see the same cloud pattern. And I don't think people understand that either. I don't know. We think very two-dimensional.
And also,
hard for us to think 3D.
Indeed, and also two people standing next to each other, staring at the same cloud formation, will often come up with different images. because a lot of it is based on what's going on inside your head as well.
It's like the bunny duck thing, is it a bunny or is it a duck? That picture.
Jesus in the toast, Jesus in the dog's butthole, whichever one it is.
Because, Jesus would choose a butthole to appear to a person. Maybe if the dog's butt was constantly in the human's face, Jesus would be like, I need to send a message. I'm going to do it through the butt.
Well, read.
The dog is right there all the time with the butt in the face, and I work in mysterious ways. Awful humor coming up. Well, read your Bible. It says Jesus is coming back. You can't get farther back than that. Oh, goodness. Oh, this makes me think of something. So I talked about ghost hunting last Saturday, and somebody was talking about olfactory hallucinations. They're like, okay, so who am I going to blame? If I can't blame ghosts on my farts, who am I going to blame? I'm like, you just tell the person you're with that they're having an olfactory. You didn't smell my fart. You're having an olfactory hallucination right now. So maybe these people that see Jesus in dogs' buttholes are like, they're getting messages, but it's really olfactory hallucinations and not actual dog farts. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, and it just derailed altogether.
It's okay.
These things happen.
They do indeed.
Just like, Mel, did you do a full episode? And if you did, I'm sorry I missed it because I was actually waiting for it.
Yes,
you did?
Well, I did a show. I can go back and do one of my shorts and do just the basics.
Why I missed it? That was the day I had to go up north and pick the dead Jeep up with my truck. That's why I missed it. Yeah, and I just forgot about it. And then I was in bullshit OSHA training today. Sorry, I swore.
You never swear, Steven. I'm so disappointed in you.
I swear all the time.
I know this sarcasm. It's a
literary
device.
I couldn't tell. Your voice sounds scratchy. I think. Wait, I'm having an auditory pareidolia. Is that a thing here? Is it
there
really
are auditory hallucinations.
Yep.
All right, we were talking about it earlier, and there you go.
There goes. Wait a minute. Let me look in this box here. Wait a minute. My thunder was right the hell in there. It's gone. I had my thunder right in this box. It's like someone has stolen it.
Is Thor around? Because he never shows up on Thor's Day, and I always do a shout out on Twitter.
So mad.
Thor never shows up.
Like it's that big of a surprise anyway. Actually the auditory pareidolia. I was wondering, is there another term for that, or is it just referred to as auditory pareidolia?
Because I couldn't think of it.
So, I think it's something. Oh. It's part of the. I think it's going to say epiphania or something like that.
See,
what
Andy.
The heck is it?
Andy, see, I said, who did I say would know? Who did I say would know?
I always knows.
I don't know everything. I probably got that word wrong. I think it's epiphania or autophilia or something like that. I can do a quick search and find out.
Not quadrophenia. That was the WHO, right?
You should do a search because I have no clue what it is, and I'm curious.
I'm curious as well.
So, Mel, when you went over... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Oh, I was just wondering, Mel, when you did your Ghost Channel thing, did you talk about any specific shows like Ghost Hunters with a bunch of middle-aged men my age who every time they hear a loud noise, they crap themselves?
Like EVP. Oh, my goodness. The EM is just right off the chart right here. They're like right next to a fuse box. That's why it's off the chart.
Or somebody flushes the toilet upstairs. They're like, what was that?
Oh, it's the ghost.
Somebody drops a chicken wing on the ground. They go, ape shit.
Oh.
Well, since we're talking about that, do we have the term yet? Or are we sticking with auditory pareidolia?
Well, apparently auditory hallucinations is a clinical term to a degree.
Well, see, I don't know if I would call it. See, auditory hallucination sounds like that's
okay.
That would be hearing things that are not. This is like I have I'm recapturing my thunder, Andy. Here, like this thing here. This is What does this sound like? I'm going to play a sound file. I'm not sure what the volume is set for, so I apologize ahead of time.
Okay.
Here we
What?
go.
Apophenia. It's Apophenia. So that's hearing patterns from random noise. Hearing
That's the
patterns
one.
from random noise is part of apophenia, but so is pareidolia or whatever the word was. I don't say it right.
That's it. Close enough.
That one, close enough. There's that. And
Mhm.
also clustering illusion is a portion of apophenia where you're trying to find patterns in entirely random events, like the roulette wheel. Okay, it's hit black like 4 times, then it hit red, then it hit black 4 more times, then it hit red. So I'm going to do black all this. You
And
see what I'm
isn't there-
saying? So
Isn't there a point where pareidolia becomes so bad it actually becomes a part of schizophrenia? Or am I wrong on that?
it can be an indicator of schizophrenia. But schizophrenics I don't know. Schizophrenics openly talk. I actually used to have a student that had schizophrenia, and they know to a degree that what's happening to them is not supposed to be happening, but then they'll talk about it anyway. And but one would ask me, this particular student would say, so what is, I had a dream the other night because I was teaching science at the time, and this student wanted my perspective. I had a dream the other night about this necklace. It was so real. And then I saw it on my friend's neck. And then I had a dream about it again that I had it. And then they would talk about how Jack Frost and Santa Claus regularly visited them and talked to them at night. But they're like, sometimes they could like be like, that's not normal, isn't it? But then they were very distrustful of their doctors. So it's just like, sometimes they know something is weird that's not supposed to happen. And then other times they just completely just jump right into it. So
Okay.
I think you can have some of that if it's out of control, be an indicator of schizophrenia, I think. So
Schizophrenia is a difficult one.
it really is. It really is. There's all kinds of flavors of it too. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand. Like the woods at night don't scare me. And Mel, maybe you remember or are aware of this survey, I guess, or experiment that was done. And I don't remember. I've been looking for it as you were talking, and I can't find it. But I guess a psychological experiment was done with a bunch of different landscapes and deciding which, showing people a bunch of pictures and showing the reaction to it of different landscapes. And they found out that the one that scared us or got us apprehensive the most was a dark forest or forest in general. And the one we felt most calming was a big open field. And
that kind of makes a little bit of sense. But if you also take a little bit of like American literature with it was Nathaniel Hawthorne, who would write about the devil living in the woods, and women who would walk in the woods were considered witches. You just didn't go in the woods because the woods was an area, especially since, Europeans were coming over here and colonizing. They weren't so familiar with a lot of the territory. And so the woods were always freaking scary because they didn't know what was in them. So, it makes kind of sense.
Well, there's
most
probably
of our horror movies take place in the woods.
There's probably an evolutionary component to that because to just think of survival in a large open area. We're keyed to that. In a large open area, you can see the bear coming. In the forest, you cannot.
As I learned at Glacier National Park, you cannot see the bear coming in the forest.
Actually even argued that pareidolia was a survival tactic due to traits such as this.
I believe so as well, because in again, back to the forest, in a predator that is skilled at sneaking up on you and hiding in the shrubberies, looking for patterns.
Is it a nice shrubbery?
Yes, indeed.
I know. We're the nice that they need.
Indeed. I mean, that can save your life. Yeah, half the time you're jumping at poison ivy. that you think is gonna come and bite you, but one time it's gonna be, a wolf head. I recognize that pattern. It has teeth.
Or chupacabra,
Yes.
or a Bigfoot. Who knows, right?
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with camouflage. All of the amazing animals that are capable of camouflage, especially predators. Look at a lion and how they can hide and even in the plains, be like moving around a bit, where you got the Serengeti. You can and you see the face. You see that face, and it's just like
lions will actually set up ambushes too. It's pretty freaky.
Oh gosh! Did you ever see the Ghost in the Dark about that lion, that rogue lion that was just consistently killing people? Did you hear?
Yeah,
that was
I think that one's at the Chicago Field Museum actually now.
Wow.
Oh, there was something wrong with that lion. Because are you talking about the one with no mane that was actually male? It probably got kicked out of the pride, and so it just did what it because a lot
just started destroying like little villages that were set up when they were trying to build a railroad. So
and I think in the movie they had the lion with a mane, but in reality it didn't have one. I don't remember the movie. I could be thinking of a different lion that attacked, but predatory mammals are known to kick out those that aren't right from their pride.
Oh, like Spartans.
Yes. humans we elect in the political office, but
Indeed.
But it's God, I'm trying to remember. Wait, Sean said what did Sean say? Ghost in the Darkness, 2 lions. Sean, yeah, that's it. Ghost in the Darkness. It was 2 male lions with no manes. I think that's what it was. Yes, and they are actually the 2 actual lions themselves. I believe are at the Chicago Field Museum.
Ah.
I think that's where they are. I could look it up.
It was a Val Kilmer movie. He was pretty good in it. Michael What's-His-Face was in it too. I don't remember his last name.
I don't.
Michael Douglas. Was it Michael Douglas? Yeah. That dude. Kirk Douglas's kid. Michael Douglas. Oh, goodness.
Important science.
Well, anyway, pareidolia is quite a useful thing. Also, when you're talking about ghosts and you see a face in the mirrors, in the old mirrors, when they used to make the old mirrors and then the little imperfections in it, when it was actually like, real silver that they put in there, it would form these different patterns. And people will be like, you could take a picture and a ghost will appear in the mirror.
Here's funny you said that. Here's with Halloween coming up.
Hey, Halloween.
Here's one of an old one, Little Girl in Forest, and I suspect it has a lot to do with older photograph degradation of the photograph and a leaf pattern that just happened to lend itself to this sort of thing. It has to be because ghosts and demons and shit like that doesn't exist. So it has to be that.
There's also very easy ways of double exposing older film. People forget about so many people forget that, film was an actual thing, like a physical substance that you could manipulate.
We're all old enough to remember film, I think.
I think so too, but you never know who is out there that forgets film was a physical thing you could actually manipulate like this. Double exposure is really easy.
Oh, real quick, I just looked it up. The 2 lions, they're the Savo man-eaters, and they are at the Chicago Field Museum.
I
remembered something. They are stuffed there. Yes, I thought I saw them last time I was there.
They're stuffed. All right.
Yes.
There we go.
And they do not have manes. They don't, but they are both male.
Okay. Most intriguing. All
What's
right.
Brian on about?
Shall we get?
Do you guys have any more pictures like that? Because because it really is amazing. And that one you just showed,
Yes.
I actually did. If you didn't have the zoom in next to that, I wouldn't have seen the girl
Yeah.
coming out of the woods. I
that one
wouldn't
was
have picked up
hard.
on that.
See, that's
Yeah.
there's quite a few like that. I just like that one. What with Halloween coming up and all, it's nice and creepy, and yeah, worked out well.
We could completely go and troll like all the ghost hunter sites where they put all the pictures up and be like, "Oh, this is fake.
Well,
Look at that."
At
Or
least
that 7-second video of a real ghost sighting in the woods, and it's got this creepy music, and it just shows the woods, and a guy in a sheet runs by in black boots. I love that video. I never get sick of that video. It's got to be like 10 years old now.
That's yeah. Well, at least
Oh my god!
with the ghost that one show that was actually just called Ghost Hunters was actually fairly honest, because to my knowledge they never came across any ghosts.
They never did.
No.
They did go to the Shining Hotel. That was a pretty fun episode because so many of them were just terrified, and then they stayed on the Queen Mary. I used to watch that show a lot.
Yeah, it was
You know, I'd
entertaining.
it was fun. It was kind of fun, and they even understood to a degree the limitations of their instruments, but that still didn't stop them from selling it. You know what I mean? They completely sold the story.
Pretty much, but and I remember the episode where I consider it their jumping the shark episode, which was at Eastern State Penitentiary,
Oh God!
where they
yes.
they actually captured a walking hooded figure, and that's what you get if you're in a haunted place. By God, there's gonna be a hooded figure walking around. And
They get the coat
Yes,
rack
there's
that
the
was-
video
with the feet on it.
of the hooded figure walking towards you, and it looks very creepy. And then it turns around and walks away, and
Yes.
you catch a glimpse of its wingtip loafers. And wait a minute, hold on now,
Oh my gosh!
demons don't have
Yeah, I
wingtip
don't know how
loafers.
many- I don't know how many of you guys have actually gone to haunted houses or any of those, or haunted asylums. There's actually one in
Yeah.
Central Illinois. It's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
never shit myself when I'm in those places.
No, been to
You
lots.
know, there
Oh.
used to be one. It's been torn down and turned into a massive shopping complex, but there was one. It was probably 14 or so years ago when I was living in Golden, Colorado,
Hmm.
and it was an abandoned children's asylum.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well,
It claimed to be haunted, this, that, and the other. I personally never saw anything when we would break into the grounds and troll around, but
Oh goodness! I have
lots of people said
stories.
that they did.
well,
have-
oh, I'm sorry, Mel. Go ahead.
Oh, well, out here, not too far from where I live, used to be an old World War II factory. They they manufactured ammunition. There was a base local to here, and there were catacombs that would go for miles to the base to where they could go and carry the ammunition. And there was a massive explosion, and there was supposed to be like 200 people died there. And all that's left is just a few little stone blocks and these two massive smokestacks. And so locally they call them the stacks. And so it was always just super heebie-jeebie creepy. And so there were some teenagers that used to like go and worship Satan there, and they would spray paint like demonic symbols on stuff. It made like the local news, and supposedly there's like orbs you could see there. There was like a dark figure with red eyes that would walk around and stuff like that. And one of those stacks was completely caved in, but you could crawl up into the other one and stand in it. And there would always be like bats at the very top that would just be flying around like it was a freaking belfry. It's awesome. But it's just, but you have to be careful. If you go there at night, the catacombs are still open. You can actually fall in, and there's like the rails, and then you have the carts on there that they could roll them. Those are still there. It's weird, but they have since caved in the catacombs so you can't get to the base anymore. But good times.
Yeah, people say I don't know. I never. Those places don't put me off. I don't know. And I'll be. I've gone there with somebody, and then they'll be like, "Did you hear that?" And I'll be like, "What? You mean that silence?"
Well, that's exactly my thinking, and it fits in with the pattern seeking. with the seeing things in the clouds and seeing images and objects, that are recognizable to us. Yeah, that's. But what about in absolute darkness? Your brain not only makes patterns out of things it sees. If you're in absolute darkness, I don't know if you noticed, your brain not only wants patterns, it demands them. And if you're in absolute darkness, it'll create them. It'll say, "By God, you're supposed to be seeing stuff, and if you're going to stand in absolute darkness, I'm going to make stuff for you to see." Here it is.
Yeah.
But to the previous going to the haunted places, I will do that periodically, especially around Halloween, and you try and whip yourself up so that you can, be a little scared, because it's kind of fun around Halloween and all that. I've never been really successful.
Oh, goodness.
But we went to, in New Hope, there's supposed to be, what the hell's the name of it? I'll look it up while we're doing other stuff, but the most haunted hotel ever, or some such crap. And even stayed in the room, the ghosty room. Woohoo! Nothing. Just
the ghosty room.
Just
they need a hotel called the Ghosty Room now.
Anyway,
have like different theme of ghost rooms. Like this is the murder ghosty room. This is the clown ghosty room.
No clown. No.
I hate clowns.
I do
too.
All right, so
how can you hate clowns? What is everybody's fear with clowns?
Okay, all I gotta tell you is go Google Smithsonian Magazine clown history. Read that. Clowns were initially meant to terrify children. The white makeup, historically, that was the crushed bones of children.
Oh my.
That they rubbed on their face. The history of clowns is horrible, and I absolutely do not feel ashamed.
Well, have you guys seen that documentary on clowns from the 80s, Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Yeah, that's
I don't watch
that's
that,
it.
Man.
Okay, here's the name of the place. It's the Logan Inn in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and it has a haunted room. And it doesn't have there's no haunted rooms. But anyway, my opinion on this, and it's not backed up by a whole lot of research because we all have lives and things, but is that invariably, the only thing I can think of is it's not that there's the invisible man walking around; it's the observer. It has to be the observer, which is more logical. I'm not denying that weird things happen. There's enough evidence that weird stuff happens in various places. Videos, there's credible stories, things of that sort. Yes, things that are mildly unexplainable or completely unexplainable do happen. But I mean, which is more probable, that the observer who's physically there is in some way causing whatever the hell's going on, whether they're imagining it, or who the hell knows if there's some mechanism that we're not quite aware of that they're actually causing things to happen? Or is it more probable that it's the invisible man? I'm going with option one. That's my person. Yeah. Just because we see a person, they may be up to something even if they don't know it, versus I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody.
When I get old,
yes.
When I get old, I want to go to one of those hotels and wear like a nightie, and at night just walk down the hallway when the lights are out.
A nightie like a negligee. Please wear chiffon and take a picture.
When I get old, so it's not as creepy because old people are supposed to act like that, and just freak people out. One of those supposedly haunted hotels.
All right.
That's my ultimate goal in life. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of haunting stuff, and what? Oh, yeah.
I just said life goals. I want to be Steven when I'm old. Except, me walking around. I would rather see Steven old walking around in his chiffon negligee. That would be fantastic. On video on YouTube somewhere. And download it straight to my eyeballs, because we'll probably be able to do that.
You shouldn't make such requests because they may happen.
Yeah, really.
Oh, please, please.
We talked about auditory stuff just briefly a little earlier, and so if Andy, if you don't mind, why don't we get this out of the way? I have a little audio file here. Just listen. listen to it now. And again, it's a woo ghosty stuff. Try to. Halloween's coming.
Okay.
Halloween's coming.
I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, try and whip yourself up a little bit so that it'll be scary. Anyway, listen to it first. I won't tell you anything about it, and tell me if you hear anything, odd, other than me. Here we go.
This is going to be a big fart joke.
All right, just basically background noise, overdriven gain on a on a reproduction of a recording. Right? Anyone able to pull anything out of that?
Just noise.
Right.
Yeah, just
All
noise.
right. Now, if just out of nowhere someone were to tell you the phrase "the baby is staying," listen to it again. Here we go.
What?
Did you? Listen for something that sounds like "the baby is staying."
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Okay. Well,
I didn't either.
I don't know.
I'm not imaginative.
Well, I'm
I
also
guess.
on my phone too, so.
Oh, okay. That
I'll
may
try
have
it.
something to do with it. I'll try it one more time.
Yeah, let me put it closer to my ear.
All right. Here we go. See, if you were able to pick it up at all, I don't know how well it's translating with the current bit rate and all that. All that I'm really pulling out of it is the cadence you'd end up with in the sentence, or the sentence "the baby is staying." And
yeah, it could have been the anal stain.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's
the anal stain.
Just like
yeah,
just like
I actually heard that.
Is
That's
that
why I said
tire
it.
streaks inside, like your underwear,
All right.
like your tidy whities, little streaks?
See, this is. Yeah, this is what I
have a brother, so I'm familiar with that.
Okay, crypto herd in that crypto herd, Satan eats cheese. Let's see. Okay, Blargo kind of heard baby. All right, yeah, sounded just like static to Cajun crustacean. That's because it was. That's because it was just static. And if you sometimes telling someone, the baby is staying, then they'll listen to that and go, oh yeah, that's exactly that. Cold reading, that kind of thing. But that's a good example of that. All right.
I thought I heard Zool.
There is no Dana. God.
All right. Now, yeah, I did get some pictures that I find rather entertaining examples of the Pareidolia effect. And this is not the images in the cloud or the Rorschach's test or anything of that sort. These are ones that just amuse the crap out of me. And it's not that you see something that is representative of something in reality. Well, I should stop babbling and just get on with it. Here we go. Here's one. Yeah, that one kind of amused me.
Mars Attacks.
Indeed.
Yes.
That's not a bad one. Let's see what other examples we have here. Yes. Somebody make a red herring argument. Because there we go. Because there we have a red herring. What else do we have? None of you are going to take a bath again. I know that. Because that's a sink. That's a sink. Okay, that's a little less creepy. That's a sink. What else do we got?
You gotta watch me
you
brush.
Have the
brush
one where
my
Thomas the Tank Train looks like he's on meth?
No, I do not. But I've got.
I actually linked that one in the chat.
I've got one angry mop.
Hold on, he looks like a character from The Lion King, I think.
He looks like a Meeseeks with a wig.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Onions. Now this,
that I bet that if they made a film out of that, it'd make me cry.
I see what you did there. Oh, that's the best. All right, and keep your drawers on. See, I told you I was tired.
Well, Well, Mel was talking about streaks.
All right. And all right. I don't know if anybody saw this film, Jurassic Bread. That was another great. That was another great one. And history buffs. Early on in history, everybody this is going to be the worst joke ever. Everybody points out how easily Germany marched into Poland, and they forget that earlier in history, Poland had a pretty kick-ass military. Their mounted troops were freaking amazing. Anyway, at some point they may again, and then we will have the return of the Poles. Oh, come on. Somebody give me a courtesy laugh. Anybody. Thank you for the courtesy laugh. I realize it wasn't funny. I understand it wasn't funny.
Oh, it was sodium funny.
Thank you very much. Self-image restored. All right. Yeah. Just some examples of how we'll take everyday objects, and our brain will try and fit them into things that we find recognizable. So there we go. Plus, these just entertained the hell out of me. All right, that was that.
Those are good.
Well, yay.
Very often.
All right. Oh, jeez. Mark says I have to give myself the crickets. We don't. The crickets are not queued up in OBS for the Sunday Science theme. We did not foresee the need for crickets in Sunday Science.
Well, maybe there is a need.
Apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Or I could just try to restrict my tired humor for, movie night. All right.
Yeah.
It's
all right. It's fun.
I'll do that. Okay.
Oh,
are you aware of the stupid flat earthers who take that one image of Earth who saw sex in the clouds? Have you seen that image?
Yes.
People think. Yeah.
And so exactly what would the end game be? What would the end game be?
Oh
to that?
yeah. We all had to listen to that earlier. Bo knows. Wow. Yeah.
Somebody's worried about sex in the clouds.
Yeah, that image of Earth, and it looked like it said "sex in the clouds." Hold on. I don't even know if it's a NASA image. I mean, I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out.
Maybe we should clarify for you, Mel. An image that appeared to be the word "sex" appeared in the clouds. It did not say. A NASA image did not say "sex in the clouds."
Okay.
The clouds are not trying to copulate. No.
Okay, so why are they worried about the word sex written in clouds?
Well, see,
it sounds like heaven's pretty bumping right now. That's
well, it's an image of Earth, so they took that and said, see, that pattern proves NASA fakes the air pictures. Because reasons, I blew it.
I imagine the people at NASA
therefore
probably,
the Earth is flat. Exactly. With those people.
Maybe the people at NASA, maybe they need a little love too. But I doubt they would just overrate sex.
It's
SEX.
really hard to see. I mean, you have to stare at. Like I said, I never saw it until someone pointed it out to me.
Yeah, I don't think that's a case of pareidolia in any way, shape, or form. I think that's just someone with a paranoid delusion looking for symbology.
Well, yeah. Well, they already had the thought in their head, and they were just determined to find something to match it in some image somewhere, whether they knew it or not.
But then we got pictures from the ground of clouds that look like giant phallic symbols. I guess those photographers fake those too, right?
Well, if it was, they were mostly Roman and Egyptian, if we're all honest. Because that's everywhere in their architecture and stuff. So
yeah, it's just pareidolia coupled with your paranoia can. It's like even if I don't understand how you see something, an image in something, and then jump to the like way far conclusion of something totally unrelated. You know,
who would
like
do such a
seeing
thing?
Sex in the clouds, so therefore the Earth is flat.
Who would? It's like looking at a washing machine and seeing.
No, that's me after a movie night.
I miss movie night, guys. I'm so sorry I haven't been there lately.
Well, it's like White Castle. I wonder if the lawyers
Don't be dissing White Castle.
I'm looking at the phone to see if I get the call from the White Castle lawyers. Well, I'll say it anyway. It's like White Castle. For you, any more than twice a year will damage you.
I love White Castle. So does my cat. He loves it too. He's a weirdo.
Oh.
He's looking right at me right now. He heard you say White Castle, and he put his ears back.
We have Crystal. We have Crystal out my way, and they have not only. It is the same thing, but we got like the little chili pups too, and the little chicken sandwiches. They're like little bitty square sandwiches, and we've got. Oh yeah, I haven't had one of those. That's drunk people food, in my opinion.
It's also fat middle-aged people food.
You know,
barbecue chicken wings.
Barbecue chicken wings with extra sauce.
I know that. Yes.
Barbecue chicken wings. Oh, I made some the other night, and they were so good. Some dry rub, and then I put some sauce on there and let it sit for a little bit in the oven. It was so nice. I'm really good with chicken wings.
Nice.
And yet somehow none of us got invitations. Did you guys get invitations? I didn't get invitations.
I know.
There's a line for my chicken wings, guys. You're gonna have to take a number.
You know what bugged me about all those pictures that we showed for to demonstrate the whole Pareidolia thing? They all look so lonely. Oh, wait a minute.
They do.
Okay, there we go. Much better. This one has a friend.
Oh my God, those look like mine. Those mine? You in my house?
Yeah,
oh my God!
Look behind you. He's calling from inside the house. He's doing a hangout from inside the house.
Sai is your biggest fan, Steven.
I don't have any fans. You kidding me?
He sends me pictures. Here's Steven's shoes. It's great, isn't it, Mel? And I'm like, yes, you might have a problem. Here is his fork from outside. Doesn't it look like a scared face?
Handbag disapproves of this line of conversation.
Oh, have you seen the handbag that looks like Jabba the Hutt?
I have not.
Yes.
I have not.
Oh my God. It's like this handbag keeps telling me to bring him Han Solo.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
I only have half a day tomorrow because it's Halloween. Yay. Hey, I just sit there 8 hours of OSHA BS, so I'm extra loopy today. And I learned nothing.
Oh, look at
that. Sometimes.
Oh, Cajun Crustacean remind us 5 minutes until Red's thing is on the non sequitur. If anyone's yeah. We don't want to step on on that.
You know, people might step on our toes, but we won't step on theirs.
No, we like folks. we try to be
and
kind.
Make certain you wear your oven mitts is what. You don't want to burn your hands.
I think Steve McRae might actually commit suicide on this time.
Oh my! All right. Well,
I don't know how he deals with some of it. Seriously, I mean, yeah.
Well, I've been on their show a few times, and there was one time oh man, it's funny. Godless Iowa, and he'll be like sitting there. He goes, "Mel could have her sound off, and you can hear everything she says just by looking at her facial expression." I'm just like,
well, when you mouth really slow, what the You know, we can figure it out. Oh, did you guys see Godless Engineer? He's up there with Godless Iowan right now for the little shindig thing. And he was really, because up here in the Midwest, we have these gas stations called Come and Go. Apparently, he thought that was really amusing.
So, Come and Go before?
Apparently, he's never had Come and Go before. No, all of us have had Come and Goes, but not him.
I thought they were statewide or U.S. wide.
They're mostly North Midwest, I think, like Iowa.
And apparently all over Colorado.
I will refrain from making the joke that I was going to make. But
it almost makes
what joke?
It almost makes it
from Come and Go.
The joke writes itself, doesn't it, Mel?
It really kind of does. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I've never heard of this before, but it sounds like something, And
well, Mel, you're not sophisticated enough to even have White Castle. You have Crystal, the knockoff.
Okay.
I'm in the deep South. We kind of suck a little bit, but our sweet tea is the bomb. So leave me alone.
You do have some of the best whiskey coming out of there.
Oh yes, we do have really.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I actually drove by. I drove by Mel in February, I think it was, and I just kept going. I'm like, I'm not stopping. I'm going.
You should have stopped, and then I could have indoctrinated you.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you saw her?
Scientism, okay?
Are you saying you saw her and hit the gas? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
God, we can't stop here. This is Mel's country. Like Fear and Loathing in Mel's country.
I don't know. I can't imagine it's all that bad a country, otherwise you wouldn't have been sticking around there.
Oh, well, I feel like I'm on the front line sometimes. So somebody rational's got to be around this area.
I'm waiting for Mel to knock out a couple of her teeth, put on a straw hat, and just don't like that.
Yeah.
Andy,
start playing the banjo, dueling banjos.
It's about 8. That
other show does appear to be about that time, doesn't it?
Indeed. We started late, so you'll be running a little short, but we don't want, like you said, we don't want to step on the toes of other broadcasters.
And then I showed up late. I'm sorry about that too.
Oh no, you showed up right on time.
Not at all. You should have heard.
Kramer.
I planned it that way.
You didn't hear Andy earlier. Actually, you showed up earlier than he was hoping. Oh, come on, that was funny. Oh, God damn it! All right.
Well, he's doing a come and go. So.
Indeed. Okay. I'm not going to say anything about Pee Wee Herman.
That's what you guys do in the North, right? I'm just from Midwest. I mean, I'm trying to follow your line.
Midwesterners are weirder than you Southern people are. Believe me.
I don't know, man.
We're just not as deeply down the religious rabbit hole. But we're
you go and head out to the mountains and do the exact same as you Midwesterners, only with a lot more marijuana.
Heat shield. Test multi-pat. Sheet shield? Are you referring to the multi-streaming? We're actually doing that. And yes, Mark, I did try it. Yes, Mark, I did try another joke. It worked about as well. Worked about as well as the other ones. See, I had one involving Pee Wee Herman for about 5 minutes ago, but
oh wow,
decency caused me not to.
Oh, I got a bug.
All right,
I just put that joke together in my head.
Yeah, well, see, thanks. Yeah, have some White Castle. Have some White Castle. You'll forget all about it. All right.
Have some White Castle. We call those gut grenades out here. The crystals we call gut grenades.
We call them rat burgers. We call them rat burgers because that's about as much meat.
We call them sliders because we have respect for them here.
What the hell is a
we don't actually have a White Castle here. You have to drive a state away to get to a White Castle.
White Castle is literally half mile from my house.
There are White Castles.
And then there's one in the Speedway.
Kansas, if I want that shit.
There's one near me that is not 24 hours. What the hell is that?
What?
What the hell is that? A non-24-hour White Castle?
That's a front. That's not a White Castle. Don't go there. That's some sort of.
They are banned. That's it.
See, that's how I feel about Krispy Kreme.
They should be.
trained.
They
It
should be
has to
24 hours.
24 hours with the hot and ready sign.
Hmm.
There's one
Oh.
one that I go to around Christmas time
Oh.
to go look at Christmas lights, and when that hot and ready sign is on, so am I.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Jen-
here we go.
Jen says. Jen says Red's thing has started up. Maybe we should wrap it up. What do you think, folks?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody have fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and always fun to have you on Sunday Science, regardless of what day of the week it's on.
Indeed.
Later.
All right, bye all.
Have a good night, everybody.
Indeed.
Arr, 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 arr.